Are we back? Are we back?
Right now, we're going to make you look like a crazy good webmaster with really, okay. I always want to gauge my audience. Are you guys okay with copy paste? Do you get that? Just got to make sure. Just got to make sure. I literally got 2 hours into a presentation at Clovis Unified one year, and I said, now just copy paste it, and half the audience was like, I said, okay, need to regroup here. Okay, so embedding. When you go to other people's websites, back in the old days, there was a link that would go to a video, or they had a video that played off of their server, right? So they had to have a server that could handle video. That's over because we have YouTube now. And if you guys haven't seen Vimeo, V-I-M-E-O, Vimeo is really super neato also.
And it will work in places where YouTube is blocked.
And it'll work in places, yeah, you can embed things even when YouTube's blocked. And Vimeo is often unblocked, and this is just one of the crazy things about education. In Madera County, YouTube is considered bad, but you can watch Vimeo all you want. If I go across the county line to Mariposa, they love YouTube. Vimeo's the devil. So it's like, guys, can we get a plan here? Because it's hard for us to be consistent. But the bottom line is, if you know how to copy paste, you can now make those media-rich websites that have a video or a game or even like that when Diane was showing off those websites, that was an embedded Google presentation. Okay? And another site that I really like is SlideShare. Some of my demonstrations are coming off of SlideShare. So you make a keynote or a PowerPoint, you upload it to SlideShare. You don't really want your students to download it, you just want them to view it. So that's where embedding comes in. And it makes your website for your kids a very rich experience. So we're going to embed a couple things here.
So what Alice had said was, I know a lot of you have created sites before, but it might be helpful for you to try this as we're going. However, if you try something and you can't get it to work, and I'm telling you that it will work, we're not all going to screech to a halt and nobody does anything while we get one person to make it work. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Good with that?
Kevin and Himanshu, they can do this.
But you know, if you can't get it to work right now, don't worry about it. If I tell you it works, eventually you'll get it to work. So basically, if you were in your inbox, right, up here at the top somewhere, sites might be listed. Kind of depends on how much has changed in years, but I think in Apps for Ed, sites should be, whoa, stop doing that. Sites should be one of the things listed here. So from the Sites tab, if you go to Sites, you can click Create, okay? Now there's some very basic things, some settings and stuff, and you can go back and change them later, but when we create a site, yes, there are galleries full of templates. For now, don't go there. Because a template will give you tons of stuff, half of which you want to try to figure out how to delete later. Instead, start from nothing and add only what you need. Later, you might find a template that appeals to you. You name your site. Sample. Now, here's the thing. Mine is existing in my domain. I'm not going to zoom in. I'm going to point to it. Because you don't need to read that, so I don't want to zoom in. Mine's going to be listed in my domain. Yours is going to be listed in your domain. If we all call it sample, that won't work because it's creating a URL down here.
They all have to be unique, okay? Like a phone number.
It's going to create a URL down here, so you might want to have a particular thing in mind, okay? You can select a theme, but again, I recommend don't click on that because it'll take a while for everybody to load. I recommend you wait on that. You can always change it later, okay? So I'm going to close that. And then there's more options. I will say this, kind of like with our forms, sometimes we really only want certain people to be able to view a site. Sometimes we want only 5 people to view a site. 5 people whose email addresses we have. And you can do that too. So the default here is everyone in my staff domain at school will be able to see this. Most of the time I make things public because I don't want only the people in my staff domain to see it. Usually I make stuff for my students that are in a different domain. So I can do the let anyone in the world view this site. That's okay. Okay? Or I can change this to only people I specify can view this site. And that might mean that John and 2 friends of ours and I are creating a site together and we don't want it to be live on the web until the day before we're going to present that big workshop that we're using it for. And so we just make it visible to only us. Site category, site description, you don't probably need to worry about that right now. I'm going to cancel this because I already have like 5,000 sample sites I've started to create, some of which are called delete this later.
And if you already have a site, feel free to
Yeah,
just
you
go
can
ahead
go
and use
ahead,
that
sample
one.
site, delete me later. So basically, this is going to be your sandbox, so if you want to call it Super Sandy Sample or something, I don't care. It would appear that this was one of the samples I made when I was showing my 8th grade students what they needed to put onto their
Looks like it's not
DC
later.
page.
It's not later yet.
Yeah, later has not arrived yet, but later will come very soon. So you can see this has the parts to it that I told my students to do. Most important stuff are the pencil, edit page, and the page, new page. And the thing that I love about this, and I always tell my students is, if you don't know where something is, mouse over everything that's there and see if you can find it. Okay? So let's say I want to edit this front page. I just click the pencil and now I'm in edit mode. Hello and welcome. And then when I'm done, I save it.
It's very
Okay.
word processing.
Yes, it's got the same kind of toolbar and stuff like that. Okay? Very similar things. This insert menu, however, is super, super, super powerful. So I'm going to show you a few things you can insert. We call it embedding, but this isn't even the fancy copy and paste type of embedding that John mentioned. This is just, you have a wealth of things you can insert pretty straightforward. You go.
They gotta be able to see.
No, they can't see all of it.
You can shrink it.
Okay, so let's say I want to insert an image, okay? I have two options. I have the image on my computer, or the image lives online somewhere. Now, my students are only allowed to insert images they find online if it meets certain criteria. Copyright free or Creative Commons. You don't know what I'm talking about there. That's worth looking into, finding a session that you can go to just about those things.
Yeah, because as higher ed, forcing people to use Creative Commons makes sense.
Yeah.
May not have to, but it's something they should be doing, at least be aware of.
John, before I click on photos, am I going to regret that? Okay.
Pick,
For Mustangs?
yeah, 4 Mustangs.
Okay. So I've chosen a file.
You
Now,
wait a moment, you gotta watch the little
yeah,
clock.
see the doodly-doodly-doo, it's like Trivial Pursuit pie pieces. One thing we've discovered, my students and I, is that really, really, really large pictures may not work. Oh well. Maybe you've got to use a little photo editor to shrink it down.
We
Maybe
found
not.
that out too.
And
Now,
so,
it looks like it didn't work, but it's only showing you a
it's
portion of
showing
the
you the
picture.
little corner of this. It probably is quite a high-quality image.
Yeah.
We're going to pop this bad boy in here, and what happens is, it's ginormous, see that? That's just the sky, and it goes on for years.
So this you want to
So, here are some options. While that is active, I can choose the small version of this picture, or the medium or large versions of this picture. I can also center it, or left or right align it, and I can choose to have text wrap around it or not. Here's some text, okay, wrapping around it. When I click on the picture, I still get those options. Now, right now, God bless you, if someone were to click on this picture, it's going to go to a link to the picture, which I might not want. I can have that link to Minarets High School website. All I can do is go in here and change it and say, instead,
And this is when you go to a website, you roll over the picture, and it's taking you somewhere? So we're
John,
just gonna just minarets.us, no W's.
Minarets. You guys know the W's are so 20th century, right?
You don't need the W's if you're on a Mac. It feels good, but you don't need to, and you definitely don't need the HTTP stuff.
Yeah.
It'll sort that by itself.
So see this open link in a new window? That means leave something open in the tab I was in, and either a new tab or window's going to open up. I tend to do that, and people end up with lots of windows or tabs, but they can suck it up and deal with it. I'd rather they not lose where they came from. So see, if I click on that picture, it's going to take me to wherever I said that should go. Okay? Which shouldn't take a minute because it's all loading up and stuff, but you trust me, right? Okay. Let's embed something else. We're going to go to another page.
Hold on. I'm gonna
Yes.
tag myself in.
Back up the puppy.
Okay.
Switch out.
I'll be back.
Yes,
Just go ahead, because I was wrapping something.
that's okay.
You said you embedded, it took you to link.
Yeah, so she just mouses over it and it says right here, change.
I hit change, but I could also hit remove, and that means that picture
That's okay, I just wanna
won't
do it with you.
anything.
Yeah, when you hit change,
In the,
then you get this right here.
You didn't find change yet. Hold on. When I click on the picture, I'm in edit mode. When I click on the picture,
Which one has changed?
so by the way, if I just want it to be a picture that you don't click on it, it goes anywhere, you just remove it and there'll be no link. Okay? But I'm done doing some things with this. Oops, I removed the whole picture. Okay, I'm gonna go back and put a picture in again. Insert image. Now what's cool is if I've already inserted an image on this page before and accidentally got rid of it, it'll still have it there. And I'm gonna change this and make it. I think it's good form to have on this. So, okay. What you're going to find is when you put things into a page of your site, you're going to experiment with what options you have for that to see which size you like better and whether or not you want it wrapping and things like that.
Now I'm going to tag Diane out real quick. I'm going to show you guys another little really easy trick. All right, so I'm going along and I want to add a picture. I don't have to bring the picture off of my desktop. I'll show you guys a little trick. And the reason I like this trick is it speeds up the process and I don't use up space and it's very quick. And I'm going to just go to Google Images. Okay, so if I'm at Google Images and I type in Diane May, just because I like picking on her.
Sure you want to do that?
Yeah. I checked last night, it's all good. So,
That picture of Gert is not me.
this is a good one. We'll use this one.
That's my.
Okay, on a Mac, if I hit Control click, notice what it says. You just got to slow down a little bit. If you look down here, it says copy image what?
Address.
Address. Now watch this.
Sometimes you'll see copy image location, sometimes you'll see copy image URL.
But it's
Yeah.
copy
It's the same
image
thing.
something. So
Yeah.
it'll vary a bit if you're in Explorer or Safari, but it's copy image whatever. So I'm going to copy the image address. Now I want to go back to Diane's sample here. And I go edit page. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click here and I'm going to say insert what? Image, right? This is where the change occurs. That's that uploaded image, but I'm going to pick URL. You see where I'm going with this?
Paste.
Oh, now it's.
And then I scroll down and hit OK. Notice how much faster it was.
Because it's already on the.
Because it's not a 3 megabyte load. It's not that big picture. That works almost everywhere, almost all the time. Almost is an important word, like 90%. So if it's not working, don't panic. But for me, I like showing that to the kids because it's fast. And I don't have to worry about doing this process. Find the picture, download the picture. Where did it go? I think it's on my desktop. I threw that folder away. I'm just dealing with URLs. And that'll work at Flickr, Facebook, almost anywhere on the web. You're just going to go copy address. It's one of those little quick tricks that makes you fast.
Can I take 2 minutes to do a public service announcement on what pictures you should let people use and what pictures you shouldn't? Sure. This is Google. You may have heard of it. Up here I click images. Now I'm in Google image search. My kids know you may not search here. However, you may go for the good stuff, which we hide under the gear. Advanced image search, I'm just going to change 2 things. 1, I teach in a Christian school and like having a job, so we use strict filtering because I don't need naked people. 2, usage rights, only images labeled for reuse. That means that when John or I or you or anyone else take pictures and put them on the web, we have the option of saying Creative Commons. You can use that. I'm going to confess something. Went to the bathroom before, took pictures of some of the tiles on the wall, thought they looked good. All of my pictures when I upload them to Instagram also go to my Flickr and they're automatically Creative Commons. If someone ever needs a picture of the tiles in the bathrooms here, they have them. I would try searching for them, but I'm going to guess they're not there yet. Okay. Now, up here, I tell you what I'm looking
How did you
for.
get to see advanced search?
Right here, the little gear.
The gear. The answer to where's the good stuff hidden is generally now going to be under the gear. Okay?
In 6 months, it could be another device, but
Yeah,
for
they
now.
might make a smiley face, I don't know. So let's have, what's something that would be good to have a picture of?
Just type in Rose. I want to.
Watermelon.
Okay, watermelon.
I don't know why I thought of that.
These are all licensed for legal use.
Okay.
Because you'll see kids do this. They'll take pictures from iStock Photo. Those are owned by other people. It has a splash mark on it. A watermark.
FYI, someone is being adventurous and tried inserting a video that has sound.
Nice.
All right, I can hear it. I don't know what's happening, but I'm a little leery of this imagesfrombulgaria.com.
Why?
I just feel like I don't want to do that.
Bulgarian watermelon is delicious.
Frick-a-picks. This is interesting. I don't even know. That's up close. What I'm looking
Now, I'm
for.
going to do a quick review on what I showed. If Diane hits Control-click on any of those pictures, guess what it does? Okay, copy, and it's the same
Okay,
thing.
so here's the thing. There's a step involved that I make the kids do. I generally am hoping they'll look for like Flickr. Here's one from Flickr. What is this one? Flickr.
We look for liquor Friday night, not Friday day.
Okay, when I click on a picture that's at Flickr, this is what I teach my kids. Flickr is neat because it's people like you and me that put pictures up there and said, yeah, use my stuff. But they might not have said use my stuff. Go make sure it says some rights reserved. If it does, you are in business. Click on the picture. It's in artsy-fartsy mode. It's in the light box.
Artsy-fartsy is a technical term.
View all sizes, because if I'm putting something on a site and I only want it to be this big, I don't need the original size. And I can avoid the problem of it going, ooh, this is taking too long and I'm getting a headache. I usually tell the kids to aim for medium. Sometimes there's more than one medium, 500 is usually good enough. So I'm getting down to really, really, really what I want. Now that I really, really, really have what I want, I go and get the image URL, which in this case says copy image address. But I've trained the kids starting, well, we usually start with this in about 5th grade, with where they're allowed to go get pictures from. Before that, it's usually Wikipedia, because every image on Wikipedia is okay for you to use. It's all either public domain or Creative Commons. So I have some
I'm
rules
guessing you
about
guys
that.
are okay with Wikipedia too, right?
Yeah.
As a part of the research.
Yes.
Not the end all.
Wikipedia can never be your only source.
The encyclopedia shouldn't be the end all either, right? It's part of a matrix of search.
So now, since we have all kinds of fun things on here, we're going to add this picture as well. Okay, so just the same way that John did, insert image, URL, web address URL, paste.
Again, see how fast it is? No download, no upload, nothing laying around on the computer, straight in there.
What you may have noticed is that, and see, the one thing I like about, not the way your computer scrolls, but the one thing I like about this is it automatically will go to the page that it came from. So that's kind of like a way of citing your image source too.
Right.
You're not trying to hide anything.
Yeah, when you
Now-
download to the desktop, that is broken, right? So now kids can always go back if they need to cite it. Yeah,
But if the Bulgarian watermelon farmers get together and remove that picture, it's not going to show up on your website.
that's correct.
I just thought of
That is part of the gamble. If that picture disappears, you will have a blank space there.
And it tends to be that people put their stuff on Flickr and forget it's there and just leave it there forever. So I like to get stuff from Flickr and Wikipedia because that stuff's not really going anywhere. The Bulgarian watermelon people might move it to a different folder on their server and now you can't get to it.
Right.
So we've gone to another page because there's a lot of other things you can embed and insert as well. Like I said, image, link, things that you would expect to see, plus a bunch of stuff that I don't even know how it works. But then if I decide,
That's beautiful.
yeah, I'm going to go with insert document.
Here's an example as Diane's getting ready for insert document. So at our school, the sports schedule, do you know how crazy that is? Oh, there's a new game. Oh, we changed the time. How would I do that in the old days? I would have to go back to that website, log in, change it.
Actually,
Now-
you'd have to beg the webmaster to do it.
I'm the webmaster, so I'm going to kill myself because I don't want to do that. But if I have it in Google Docs and it's embedded this way, once I change it in Google Docs, all the websites using that schedule are fixed.
So when I choose insert document or spreadsheet or presentation, it goes to my docs list and it looks for those things. So for example, we just translated instructions for my students from English to Spanish. I'm going to choose that one. But the problem with this that you have to be aware of is whatever you choose needs to be something that you have in that document already said, yes, this can be published on the web. I'm going to go with just the defaults on this for now. I'm gonna save it. And it's gonna look great for me. You know why? Because I'm me, and I can prove it. Because look, there's me. I'm logged in as
It may
me.
not look great for people outside the domain.
This is awesome, but if you could get to this site and you wanted to look at this, if I have not made this a published document, you can't get to it. So here's how I do it. I just go to my docs, I open the document. You have to think of it this way. Things are like behind a shield, even in your docs, until you go in and say, but I want this to be published. And I want people to be able to see it. And I think I just clicked on the wrong place to publish it. It's either under share or file, sometimes they move it.
It could be under tools like yeah, there you go. Go change.
Change. So this public on the web, or anyone with the link makes it so that people can get to it. If I change this to public on the web, here's something that is kind of scary and dangerous. Normally, you're never going to let other people edit it, but you could if you wanted to. I would. Okay?
But if it was just within your domain and anybody could edit, it would be okay because you would know who did it in the revision history.
Yep.
So this is back to the godlike feeling of you have as much or little control as you like. Depends on what the mission is.
So I've saved that, and now anyone on the internet can find and view my Spanish language document. Okay? And so if I go back here, it's embedded in the page.
So that's a Word doc or a Google doc embedded in the web page. And
Now-
I like to use my sports example. If I've got a set of instructions that's on 10 different websites, like let's say I have a class schedule for 10 different sections, and I've embedded the same schedule. Once I change the schedule, I just fixed all 10 web pages.
So what John's saying is,
Does that
I
make
make the
sense?
change in here, everywhere I've embedded it, it is also changed. So you're only having to change the one thing. Maybe it's the
I like with
capital.
Alice doing the observation schedules, because I'm hearing a lot about observations at lunch. If she's got an observation schedule that all you guys are checking at 35 different sites that kids are checking, when she changes the master schedule, it automatically fixes them all if you guys are embedding the same document. That's pretty nice.
That's really nice.
Because with the proliferation of web pages, you can get into a situation where you fix 7 but not 8, and then a bunch of people show up the wrong day. Awkward. So it makes it really pleasantly easy without being too technical.
We have this crazy involved website at school that I don't love. But if we were using a Google site for our parents, and we have that middle school announcements file that we read to the kids at homeroom every morning, that gets updated throughout the day, and if that's a live document. So that's going to get changed. If we wanted that to be something that's publicly viewable, we could have it embedded in a site that students use. We could have it embedded in a site that parents use. Really, however we want to make that information accessible. And then that running document that the 7 or 8 or 10 middle school staff have the ability to change, as it gets changed, those real-time updates are visible to whoever is looking at the places where it's embedded. So that's handy. You can embed spreadsheets. You can embed a form right into the page of a site, which is very handy. You can embed presentations. You can embed Google Drawings, which we haven't gotten into, but is a fun thing, and there's some videos on the resource site that I've linked to about what you might use that for. Wow, that's going to be fun.
This is going to be fun and easy. Remember copy paste, right? We're all good with copy paste. All right. So I went and found the Johnny Cash thing, right, for Gettysburg Address. Here's the magical piece right here. See where it says share? Share or embed this video, right? Share or embed. And then it does this. And it looks very scary. And I need to tell you guys, don't read this part. Do not look at it. It's terrifying. There's this long list of nonsensical stuff. Don't even look. All you need to do is hit embed. Okay? And then it gives you this right here. Don't look. Just accept it. It's already highlighted, so guess what I can do? I can copy. Now there's some things that are worth looking at real quick here at the bottom. Do you think that this is a bad choice for 6th grade? Show suggested videos when done.
It might as well say show suggestive videos.
Okay?
But maybe it'll show us.
You can select if you want a higher or lower definition. I would say don't be a bandwidth glut. If you put it at the high definition, expect slower playback. Okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to mindlessly, without counting or looking, I'm going to copy that block of stuff. Then I'm going to go over here, sample the site, delete me later. I'm going to go edit page. Now there's a couple different choices, but I'm going to show you guys the
You can 86 the watermelon.
no, I love the water. I'm going to show you guys the old school way to do this. Because by doing this the old school way, you can embed anything. Because what Google has done is they've made it, like Diane showed you guys in this window right here, they've made it stupidly easy to embed lots of stuff, right? Problem is, if the stuff you want isn't in Google's list, guess what you have a problem with? How do I put in non-Googly stuff? It's really very simple. See this button right here? All you do, don't be afraid, it's okay. HTML, and you're going to get that. I don't want to touch any of that.
Do you want to see my awesome trick for this?
Yep, but I'm just walking through and say, see that text? You can see where you have typed or put things in.
Right.
So all I'm going to do at this point is if I want that video to be the first thing, without thinking, I hit paste. Then I hit update. And then I hit save.
See how it's a placeholder at first?
Yeah.
Don't be alarmed.
I'll go back to
Anything you
that.
embed might be a placeholder until you're saving it.
Now since there's a video there, it takes a moment longer to load because it's taken a while to think about it. The Bulgarian watermelon is still there.
That one's not Bulgarian.
Oh, okay. Well, I like calling it that. Can it be the nickname?
I think it's a thistle. It's called Scottish. I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Now,
Hit it.
people don't have to leave my webpage to see the educational video in a straight line. Now, because I teach film as well, you guys probably know, what else does he do? Okay, remember, I don't do Photoshop, and I don't do hard code HTML. But we do film festivals with students. This is how we do the judging. Another possible flip model. Ready for this? If you insert a table that has a math video here, and in the second box has a Google form,
Yeah.
how cool is that? So what we do for our film festivals is we'll put 8 videos on a page and the judging criteria right next to the video. Watch, answer, watch, answer, watch, answer. How cool is that for kids? Pythagorean, any crazy math stuff, answer. What are your thoughts? They don't get to see what the other kids are doing. It's hard to cheat. It's timely.
Get the message of a war-weary President Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, you get the picture.
Does that make sense? Is that accessible? Now, before I wrap up that portion, using that little HTML button,
But it isn't.
you can go to, I'm just going to list off some sites. You can go to slideshare.net, thousands and thousands of crazy good PowerPoints. And you're going to see an embed button. And you're going to go copy, and you're going to go over here, and you're going to hit paste. You can go to Quizlet.com, over 4 million flip card decks. You can make your own, you can steal other people's and customize them. Copy, paste,
Say that again.
Quizlet, L-E-T-Q-I-Z-L. There are thousands of websites like that. That quiz, no, not that quiz, is that example. There's another one called, I think it's called Quizmaker. Any website that has a little button that says share or embed, you're in business.
Now you know what the embed stuff is for, because you may have seen that on some sites. So I want to show you my pro tip for, let's say I have that, because John copied that embed code, so that's still in there in the computer's memory. Let's say I have a bunch of stuff on my page, and I'm not really sure when I'm going to go into that HTML secret backdoor thing. So I can say, oh, I want to put my video here between more stuff and double stuff. So I'm going to type the words video, or the word video really big, and then I can go, all right, I'm going to replace the word video with all that code. Paste,
real quick, I'll show you around.
update. That's my super sneaky trick for that. And like I said, it's just going to have a placeholder. And then when you save is when it'll show up. I do actually know how to do some HTML stuff. And I still do that little trick because it's a lot of junk to look through. So sometimes I have a lot of stuff on a page, and like if my page was, if my page layout had some different options, like if I had a 3-column page, and I wanted to be clear that I wanted it to be in a certain column, let's just go with 2 columns, it'll work better. This video's too big.
This has games? Yeah, it's on this.
Doesn't like that. But I want it to be way down here.
Scroll down,
Trying to make this here.
space right there.
Over here. I want it there instead. I can get rid of it from here, and then I go into the HTML. This is just, I gotta find it. Cancel, click in this one, HTML, over here, and I can replace it wherever it is that I want it. And it's gonna put it over here instead. Okay, that's not a great example because the video is actually too big to fit there. So maybe if I, no, I'd have to change it later. Generally, when you're doing a YouTube video though, you don't need to go through all those steps. John just showed you the embed code because that works well with other things.
All right. Is that a good start for embedding?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.